pledge. Almost as small. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Roll call.
Councillor Smalley is excused. Councillor Hamilton. Council President Whitaker. Here. Councillor Woods.
Here.
Councillor Daigle. I'm here. Councillor Sarnowski. Here. Mayor Summer.
Here. Any media present? Anyone wishing to speak before the city council today on any subject matter will need to fill out a speaker form and turn it into the recorder. Forms are available on the signing table in the back of the room. Please turn cell phones off or silence them during the meeting. Announcement for Zoom attendees. If you're joining today's meeting via Zoom, you will automatically be muted upon entry, and you'll need to identify yourself if your full name is not already attached to the device being used. You will be unable to unmute yourself. Public comments will only be taken if prior notification was given to the city recorder. Public comment. The purpose of this public comment period is to allow citizens to present information or raise issues regarding agenda items only. There will be time at the end of the meeting for citizens to speak out about off-agenda items. A time limit of 3 minutes per citizen shall apply. All citizens must come up to the microphone. The council appreciates the time taken by the public to provide comments and desires to hear your thoughts and concerns. However, to be able to run our meetings efficiently and to protect the rights of all involved, the city needs to utilize this time as a period of receiving rather than providing information. Thank you for your understanding. And I have two for today. First one is Brett Brooks.
Thank you, Mayor and Council. I'll make this really quick. I recently viewed the report that was put up in front of the council for consideration for cannabis dispensaries within the city. The report stated that an average income would be $33,000 of tax revenue for the city, which is completely false. If you look at a city like Myrtle Point, which has 2,500 residents, arguably a third of our residency, they garnered $45,000 in city tax revenue. Additionally, the city would garner state revenue sharing, which in my estimations from the research I've done would be an additional $13,000 for the city, not to mention nonprofit contributions and adding jobs to the city. So I'm not sure who put that report together, but it's going out to the citizens. They're reading that. It's completely false information. And so, yeah, I'd just like to correct the record there that the potential tax revenue is a lot higher than what was reported.
Where did you read that at?
Read the report?
Yeah.
It's on the agenda notes for today.
You read it somewhere else too.
No, I did have seen posts online.
Okay.
Reporting people passing around that $33,000 is not worth the trouble that it would bring to the city. And I think it's false information by whoever put that report out that the potential is a lot greater. So thank you.
Next one is Kelly Geyer.
Good morning, Council. I speak today as a member of the community. I want to share a quick story with you about a 23-year-old man who 9 years ago arrived at work, and due to a cruel practical joke, his chair was removed from behind him without his knowledge, and all 300 pounds of his head hit the metal cabinet behind him, resulting in an occipital brain injury that many pharmaceutical specialists, surgeries, brain injections later, all to little or no relief. He lives every day with throbbing, stabbing pain. The only partial relief from the head pain is cannabis. For the seizures, he now has regular pharmaceuticals and the cannabis, which has been proven to help with those seizures. This young man must live near a dispensary because he cannot drive. We need to understand as a community that many may not like cannabis, but to those who depend on it every day to keep them moving forward, well, who am I to say no to treatment, getting any kind of help in their own community? I will advocate for anyone, anywhere to have access to any type of basic human need for healthcare, no matter what that healthcare might look like. Let's have an open honest, non-judgmental discussion on the subject and let the voters decide. In closing and full disclosure, my husband is a lawyer in Michigan, does represent a marijuana group. We did not move here to open any businesses. I just support folks having autonomy over their own healthcare decisions. And finally, in second full disclosure, that young man is our son. That's why I advocate so hard on this and many other issues for those who cannot advocate for themselves. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else?
Good job.
Under presentations, employee recognition of service, code compliance officer. Ashley Higgins.
Mayor, Council, Troy Mills, Chief of Police. We just want to take a minute to recognize Officer Higgins on her 10-year anniversary. It takes sometimes it's hard to get somebody to stay for 10 years, whether it's they move on to bigger and better things or they're injured and they're gone for life. So, but a few things I just wanted to point out with Ashley. Currently, she's one of the founding members of the Oregon Associated of Women in Criminal Justice. She was a 2023 Officer of the Year. She's the Douglas County Sexual Assault Response Team representative. She's a TASER 10 instructor, and she currently holds an advanced certificate through DPSST. And she's currently taking on the role of being our city code compliance officer. So she is a true asset to the Sutherland Police Department. And so I just want to take a minute to present her with her 10-year anniversary pin. And I know, Mayor, you wanted to present her with a certificate.
Yes. I want to thank you for your 10 years of service and with the city of Sutherland and present you with this certificate.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Appreciate you.
That's all. Thank you. You want to say anything?
I do. I always do.
There we go.
I'll make it quick, I promise. So it was a very unique series of events that brought me into this career field. And if you ever want a story time, just come and ask me. It's been incredibly humbling and rewarding. I've got to watch our city evolve over the years and improve through the incorporation and beautification of things like Ford's Pond, Central Park, Music Off Central, which has been so much fun. The Southern Throwdown fundraiser that Terry has brought in. It's been an incredible fundraising event for many youth in our community. We've also made it through a global pandemic, massive wildfire, snowmageddon, and flooding, all of which involve some stories that I know I'm going to share with my grandkids one day. Overall, I love Sutherland. I love living here. I love working here. I love being a part of this community. There is no other community like it, I'm convinced. Several of you have been here since the very beginning of my career path. One person who isn't here today and that I would like to dedicate my decade of service to is Gayla Hawley. And if you knew Gayla, you would understand why I would want to honor her life in that way. So I'll go ahead and conclude my speech by saying thank you for this recognition. Thank you for making it so easy to enjoy coming to work every day. Decade is a really long time, but you know, they say time flies when you're having fun. So thank you.
Under the consent agenda, June 8th, 2026, city council minutes. Do I have a motion?
I make a motion that we approve those minutes. I have a motion that we go on the second part of this.
Any discussion? Vote.
Councilor Hamilton,
Aye.
Council President Whitaker. Aye. Councilor Woods.
Aye.
Councilor Daigle. Aye. Councilor Sarnoski. Aye. Mayor Summer.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Under council business, AMI water meter systems, staff report.
Mayor, Council, Aaron Swan, Public Works. Today we are hoping to move forward with the approval for the purchase of our new AMI water metering service. And to start off with, we have the sales rep from Campstrup here from HD Valor for Campstrup. And he's going to talk a little bit about the system that we've chosen and answer any questions that you guys might have. And then when he gets done, then we can talk about other stuff within the city and other questions you might have. But so anyway, Pat Hart's here and he's going to come up and talk a little bit about their system.
Thanks, Ed.
Yeah.
Good morning. Thank you for the opportunity to speak with you today. And congratulations on just getting to this point. I am an AMI specialist in Oregon. I cover Oregon, Southwest, Washington, Northern California, Western Nevada, and Hawaii. So I travel around a lot, and it's exciting. I know how much work and time it takes to get to this point. Working with Tammy and Aaron and Sean and the team and stuff like that. I know they spend a lot of time doing their due diligence and really vetting other systems, talking to others, doing tours, that kind of thing, doing all the stuff that you're supposed to do when you're really looking at making the right fit. And that's what I'm excited about because when we talk about a partnership, we use that term all the time. It really is a long-term partnership is what we're looking at. And when we look at that, it's the quality of the product. For years, I actually sold against this product back years ago. So I was having a conversation earlier, and when you look at the quality of this, I tried to poke a lot of holes in it. Quite honestly, when it's your competition, you're trying to look for any weak spots. So when you look at the quality of the meter itself, it is really, really solid. It just they call it every product, there's a certain failure rate, right? That's what we're always looking for, is what's the potential pain points, right, when you're making a big decision. Less than 0.25% return rate is how Camstrup looks at it. And what they say is that is, of all the millions of meters that they have out there, less than 0.25% of 1% are what come back to the factory, whether that's there is an issue with it, whether that's somebody backed over it with a truck, maybe that doesn't qualify for a warranty, but it comes back. They categorize all of that as return rates. So when you look at that, that's industry leading. That is phenomenal to get that. Typically, you're about a 3%. Oftentimes is where we're kind of shooting for a return rate. So when you look at the quality of the product, it's fantastic. The other is, when you look at it, is the unique benefits of this product. This is the only product in the industry that not only has all of the standard things. When you look at the customer being able to detect leak detection on the customer side, that's a pretty standard feature for most meters. It's got all of the alarm codes and all those kinds of things, but it's also got internal acoustic leak detection. And it might have come up at some point where you guys have talked about that. That is unique to be able to, not that the leak detection is out there, but to have it inside the meter itself. What they do is they take those sensors that are already in there, measuring the meter, and Camstrup engineer years ago said, what else can we do with this? Well, we can also listen for any kind of leaks, not only on the customer side, we can listen to it on the service and main side as well. And so that it doesn't change the warranty. It still has the 20-year new meter accuracy. All of those warranty items are still there. It's just doing more because the technology was already in place. So not only have you got the 20-year new meter accuracy, you've got the reliability of the product, you've got all of the, like I say, the customer transparencies benefits of it. You've got 24/7 acoustic leak detection. So it's listening for any sounds on the, like I say, service or main lines. And how that works is every 55 minutes of every hour, it takes a noise sample. And it said at the end of the day, it says, all right, we're gonna throw away all of the loudest sounds and we're gonna listen. We just want to know what the quietest sound is, because we all know there could be work in the street, there could be anything. The semi goes by, anything at that when that happens. Okay, that's normal. And then what it does is listening for that consistent lowest noise value. And then it puts together a pattern. And then what happens is after it decides, okay, look, it looks like there's a pattern going on. That's when you, customer, would, or the city would get a alarm that says, you might want to look at this particular address. We think there's potential that there is a leak in the system. And what that means is it doesn't pinpoint, doesn't tell you exactly, an X on the map. But the way it works is essentially it becomes correlators, because when you put all of those meters out, say this one right here is listening and that one's got the loudest sound, and over here it's not picking up anything, but across the street it's picking up noise as well. That's when you go and you say, okay, it's going to give you this general area to say, take your ground mic, go out your listening stick, and go out and track it down. So it's gonna go ahead and give you a tight range of where it thinks that sound is. And that's how it works. And it's listening 24/7. And one of the things that I like to share too is not only will it give you that, it's also, even after it's been repaired, City of Beaverton put this in 3 years ago, and they go out and they've talked about their experiences a lot at a lot of our shows and stuff like that. And one of the things they talked about was they call it the Swiss cheese line that they found. There was one area where they found a leak. It reported, they went out and fixed it, said, okay, great, we're good, move on. The next day they noticed on down there's another leak popped up. Well, that's kind of strange or whatever. Well, and they went out, fixed it. You can see the pattern where I'm going with this. After about the third one, they said, we got a problem. And what they found was basically after every time they fix that leak, it would, line would pressurize and it would go out and find the next weak spot. And so what they did is they ended up putting kind of an emergency CIP project, and they went ahead, they replaced the line, because of course, all the folks in the area are like, why is the utility out here every single day? So the optics weren't great, but they were able to go, and they've got pictures of it, and they call it the Swiss cheese because that pipe just had all kinds of holes all the way down. So they were able to be proactive. And like I said, that 24/7 constant monitoring is huge, because like Dan from the city said, he goes, I've done leak detection for years. I never thought about it. You go out and you fix it, you assume that's it. You don't realize the potential down the line. So that's a huge benefit. So between the reliability, that incredible, unique, and that's patented technology with Camstrap, all in the confines of this tiny little meter. And then the last part is the support, and that's where HT Fowler comes in. We've got a dedicated support team. I'm on the sales side, but we've actually got full-time integration specialists as well. So they'll come down, not only do the integration, say with Roberta at City Hall, as far as integrating utility billing and doing all the training. That's ongoing support, and that's local. And the reps, he's just out of Eugene. So for him to come down and take care of any support, any questions, any continual training, right? We all know that sometimes there's people move on and we need retrainings as well. So you have that. And then also we have what we call, not only do we stock product in Eugene, we also have, we call it our meter depot in Vancouver. So we always maintain about $2 million worth of inventory on hand. So when somebody needs it, we've got it available. So those are kind of the three pillars I like to kind of speak about, because those are important. The warranty, the reliability of the product, unique benefits, and the way in which it's supported. A lot of your peers are out there just right now. City of Albany, just they're in the middle of doing a full change out. Like I say, Beaverton did that as well. I've got City of Owaco up in Washington. They did a full change out for AMI. Working with Kalama as well. They're just getting ready to start their project up there. And then that's just that's within the last year. And then we're getting ready to start a project actually right now in Carson City, Nevada. Actually, Carson City, Nevada, one just outside Lake Tahoe, and then we've got a project in Maui that's getting ready to start. All Camstrap HT Fowler projects. So don't feel like you guys are the ones that are necessarily taking this huge leap of faith. There's been a lot of your peers out there all over, and that's just in my territory. We cover multiple states beyond that: Utah, Colorado, Idaho, Montana, Alaska. what is it called? Yeah, those are all, there's other ones I'm sure I'm forgetting, but I'm focused on my particular area. But anyhow, that's kind of questions. I'm sure you guys have questions, thoughts, concerns. What are your thoughts when you think about this? This is a big expenditure.
What about the software?
The software, yeah, it's called it's Reedy Manager is what it is. It's hosted, so there's no on-site server. It's all, you know, software as a service, remotely hosted. You guys have full access to it 24/7. You just don't have to maintain it. When I first got into the industry, there was one system, and it was in Corvallis, that was still trying to maintain their own server for it. And years ago, they finally said, no, it's too much to maintain. Because what you got to understand is there's every 3 hours, you've got these data packets that are coming over when it comes to AMI. Because really at the core of it, AMI it gives you the ability to be proactive. That's the idea, is you can manage your system in an AMR, like a drive-by or a touch read or any of those. You don't know what you don't know until they go out and read. And then somebody puts their eyes, they see, oh, we got a leak, or maybe somebody's, you know, messed with this, or there's something going on. In an AMI environment, it gives you the ability to be, like I say, proactive. Every 3 hours, these data packets are coming over and letting you know if there's any alarms or there's something you can look at. So on the software, so it's managed daily is how it is.
But how often does it need to be updated?
You know, every few months there'll be an update that comes out.
Cost?
No, it's all included, because there's annual, and in that there's annual fees that come in, and that's all included in that. So there's no additional charges for that. Yes.
How long does this take to implement, get everybody set up in the city?
For the software side of it, honestly, it's probably a day or two. That includes the training, the initial training, I'll say. Now, as far as I know, we're looking at this as kind of maybe like a 3-year overall deployment. So when it comes to, you know, basically coming up with these different areas, like year one, we want to focus on this side and deploy it. That obviously will take longer, because, you know, getting the meters deployed and all that stuff, putting the infrastructure up, that kind of thing. As far as the act from the software side, though, yeah, I mean, it's a couple days. And also what we do too on that, I've just found in my experience over the years, we come in and we'll spend a couple days, like I said, getting, you know, software implemented, the trainings and all that kind of stuff. But what I found is that gets us going. But the reality of it is we set up, and we always set up, it's up to the city as far as, you know, how often, what the cadences they want. But after we've done that initial trainings and stuff, then it's a matter of how often do you want follow-ups? Because what I found is, like me, hey, it all makes sense when we're in the middle of it and everybody feels good about it. And then, you know, the trainer walks away and everybody's got 100 other things that go. And then the first time they go to use it, it's like, now, wait a minute, how are we supposed to do this? So typically what we found, if you want might be every month or every week, it could be every 2 weeks. You can have it every 2-3 days if you guys want it. So it's entirely up to the city as far as how you want it. And we'll do those follow-up trainings however long. You know, I always tell people, it's like until you're tired of seeing us, you know. But that's really, because at the end of the day, I mean, yes, we would love to partner and sell you guys a system, but we want you to be successful with it. We want you guys to be able to have success and share these amazing stories like all these other customers have, and be advocates about how cool this was, and see the wins, and be able to share your experiences for others as well.
Question.
Yes.
So the way you phrased, one of the benefits was customer leak detection.
Mhm.
The way that's phrased, it sounds as though the customer has the ability to see the leak detection, or is that just the city that has the ability, and then the city has the notification to send to the customer? It's not something the customer has like access to an app that says, hey, this is what your reads are, or anything like that?
Exactly. No, I'm glad you brought that up. So yeah, as it is right now, the city would have access to that. If you guys ever wanted to add what's called a customer portal, absolutely, you could always add a customer portal, and that would give the customer the exact everything like you're saying. They would have access. They would get text or emails if they've got a leak, or hey, looks like based on your history, you're halfway through the month and you're on pace to exceed what you normally do. You may want to look at something, or maybe you want to dial it back a little bit, or maybe, you know, just fair warning, your bill's probably gonna be a little higher because you're on track to use more water. So that's called a customer portal. Absolutely, that's something that can always be added. And I've got some customers that are actually in that stage where they're starting to look at that. I always like to say, let's make that a day 2 or day 3 adder, because I like to take this step by step and make sure, number one, we get the software and the city using it to its fullest. I want to make sure that you're utilizing maximum benefits of it. Everybody feels really good and confident that it's working, you're using it. Then, and sometimes that could be 6 months, that could be a year down the road. Customer portal can always be added at any time. It's very, very straightforward. And the way that works is you would set it up, and then you would basically put it out there, and your customers then would say if they want to go ahead and sign up for the portal, then they can go ahead and do that. A lot of times, what I found with the portal itself too, not only managing it just as a homeowner, but also there's folks that like to, hey, maybe they've got a second home or the VRBO or something like that too. They like to kind of keep tabs and have that ability as well. Yes.
Does that portal cost more?
It would be an adder, yeah. And it just depends on it, and it's all just how many how many folks are going to be on it. That's essentially, it's tier based.
Like everyone has to be on it, or
Nope.
just, okay.
No, but it's and typically the adoption rate oftentimes is a little bit lower at the beginning, and it just slowly starts to kind of build. Years ago, I would say when I first was in the business, it was the adoption rate was really low on it, because quite frankly, there was a lot of folks who were much like my father, love my dad. The guy can wire a house, he can build a car, but he can't send a text message. And so that technology was a little bit scary. But as we continue to evolve in the world, whichever side of the coin people are on, the technology's out there. What I'm finding is more and more people are kind of starting to kind of almost expect that a little bit. Well, hey, how come I can't have access to that? So that is something that you guys could absolutely, like I say, add on at any time. And we've got two different sources there that offer it. So it's and what we would do when it comes time is we would just schedule and basically schedule a time to basically talk with each one and say, which system makes the most sense to add on, cost, unique benefits, those kinds of things. But yes, customer portal absolutely is something that could be added down the road.
You mentioned Sean and Roberta. Now, will he have to go out and read each meter?
Yeah, that's a good question. So in the end, once you're fully deployed, now, like I said, we're looking at a 3-year deployment, unless something's changed, a 3-year deployment. So there still would be some, and I think you guys still have you have third-party reads. Okay, so there still would be some of that, until you're fully deployed. Now, the only thing, once you're fully deployed, and then each month when Roberta hits the magic button to go ahead and read whatever day that is, there may be a few meters that are out. I want to say it was farther to the east, if I remember right, where there was a couple pockets that were kind of really kind of hard to reach. So even when you're fully deployed, there might be a handful, a dozen or so that maybe he may have to go out and pick up. We can always look to pick up those. It's just sometimes it's weighing the cost of, hey, if I've got everything else is reading fantastic, but I've got these, say, 12 meters over here, does it pencil out to add more infrastructure or not? And that's just a conversation that can be had. But yes, he would be able to. He wouldn't have. What he would do is he would go out there and manage this instead of worrying about the reading portion of it. He would be able to have access because he would get all those alarms as well. And so every day, and this is what will happen is he'll come into work, and however the team wants to put it and give access to everyone. He could come on, and if Sean wanted every morning, sit down with a cup of coffee, and he could log in and say, hey, over the last 24 hours, I've noticed that there's leak detection at these 10 addresses or whatever. And right there, he could go on there, he could vet it, make sure, yep, it looks like this one started at this time, and get on the phone and have that conversation and really jump on it. It's again proactive. It's managing the system efficiently and managing it daily instead of monthly. And really everybody kind of wins at that point. I don't know how many times I've seen, customers come in and be like, oh my goodness, I had no idea I had this leak. And you guys caught it, within 24 hours. Otherwise, at the end of the month, they've got this huge water bill. They're not happy. Maybe you guys are having to work an adjustment. So, I mean, it's everybody kind of loses at that point. And at the end of the day, you got all the water loss. So, being able to manage it daily, he's got all these the team has all these new tools in the toolkit.
So does he, at the time that they're employed, does all he have to do is drive by and now he'll be able to catch the reads?
When he goes, once there'll be anything of the campsite meters that are being put in within the range, like you, because what'll happen is you've got like 3 antennas essentially, I think, if I remember right, in the system. So in say this area, there'll be 1 antenna. It will cover, say, this part of the city right here. So that's where those meters, say, would be deployed. Anywhere in there, those are all going to be read with the antenna. So he won't have to go out and radio read any of those because those will be coming over the air. So Roberta would be able to just go ahead and push a button for that one and get those reads. But he would have access, and the staff would have access to any of the alarm codes and stuff that are coming in. So again, being able to manage that stuff and get ahead of it instead of being reactive.
Pardon me. That's the whole reason, is that he won't have to read anymore, other than those few maybe out in Nonpareil and it's less than a dozen. It's maybe 6.
We used to have that. Where they drove.
He had to drive by.
Yeah.
These are going to go straight to Roberta. They are still, yeah. The AMR system is kind of slowly dying off, and they're needing to be read manually. There's a few that still send a signal, but
and these meters too, also, these meters have, like I say, 20-year warranty. They also have a 20-year new meter accuracy. There's no moving parts on them. And so there's nothing to wear out. So year 1 versus year 20, you still have that new meter accuracy. Because typically, when you've got the more traditional meters on stuff, with moving parts, the chambers, they slowly wear out. There's just moving parts as things are working in there. So they slow, and over time they wear out. You've got new meter accuracy for 20 years.
What power do they use?
There's battery. That's a battery power.
How long do the batteries last?
That's the 20 years. That's where they come up with the 20-year warranty on them. Yeah, actually, and they've tested it. I mean, that's pretty standard. Is a 20-year. I know that Camstrup has. Everybody does like kind of their own bench testing and stuff, and they claim they think it'll go 23 or 24, but from a warranty standpoint, that kind of goes in line with kind of the industry at 20 years.
So do they change the battery, or you have to have a whole new?
In 20 years, you would do a meter replacement. If any of the ones though that are 6-inch and larger, they actually have a register battery that could be replaced. And so any of your large meters, they're working on that on some of the smaller meters, but right now, yeah, it would be after 20 years, it'd be a replacement. And typically what I see is just, maybe in year 15, year 16, whatever, you just kind of start putting them in, start replacing, right? Get ahead of it. So you're not all of a sudden one day you're like, oh, wait, we're all on the same clock. And that is one thing that's nice too about doing a 3-year deployment is you are actually spreading that out. So instead of being on the same time clock for your entire system, you are actually doing that by putting it over 3 years. So you are kind of hedging your bets down the line by pushing those out. So you're breaking it into thirds and just yeah.
So in the 3 years, if they take a big hike in cost in the second year, does that come to us, or are we covered for the 3 years?
You've got a price lock for 3 years. Yeah.
Can you speak to the prorated warranty just a little bit, Pat?
Yeah, so there's a, 20-year warranty, and then they've got it's a 10 and 10. So 10 years is 100% replacement. Year 11 through 20 would be, there's a prorated. So you only, the cost would be fairly minimal in those, year 11, 12, 13, any of that. And then, but it goes through 20. It's just, then if you guys want to see it, there's a breakdown on that as far as, and that's pretty standard. Good questions. What else?
So I think I read in the information you supplied that these things will go into the existing systems that we have. We don't have to do a whole lot of repiping and all kinds of stuff.
No, they're all, yeah, it fits. In fact, that's the meter itself is very small. And I've actually had, in fact, both Beaverton and Albany, that was one of the, besides all of the benefits that I've kind of laid out for you guys on there, one of the other things that was a big determination factor for them too is the meter, the radio, it's all in one unit, and the meter itself, it's very, very small. I can show it to you if you'd like. But it fits in a lot of times very small meter pits. The ley lengths are all standard ley lengths on there, but sometimes you get a little bit shallower or deeper meter pits, and it can be a little bit of a challenge. I know both Albany had said they estimated they were going to have to retrofit with the direction they were going previous. They'd saved them about $2 million by not having to go and change out. You think about sidewalks and all of that kind of, the cost can be quite immense, not let alone new boxes and all of that. Beaverton was about $3 million in savings is what they estimated by going with these Camstrup, because they're much more smaller, low profile meters. Yeah. Good questions.
Any other questions?
Thank you, Pat.
Yeah, no, thank you.
I have a motion.
Make a motion, we approve the AMI water system.
Second that.
I have a motion by Sarnowski and a second by Whitaker.
Any discussion?
You were gonna say something, Aaron. No,
Well, I was just gonna, but if you guys don't need it, I don't want to be redundant, but I'm just gonna talk a little bit about our current system. We had a citizen ask a few questions about some things, and Sean came up in his meter reading and stuff. And so just real quickly, right now we're having about 10 to 15 meters go bad per month. So we're replacing that many already in our system. And because Camstrup is small and they're a great reliable meter, we've chosen to go that route on these replacements anyway. So we are putting in Camstrup meters just in our regular maintenance program. That's one thing. With the meter readers, we talked about their price going up and the quality going down. I think last month, Sean had 130 rereads he had to do. So they're just not getting it done. So that takes him 2 days because they're all usually spread out. They're not in one area. And so we're having to devote quite a bit of staff time to manually read these things that we're having that third party reader do.
Reduction in that third party readers, we would no longer have that contract.
They'll be gone. Yeah. But like Pat said, or Tammy, for that 3 years, we'll utilize them in some manner. It'll dwindle and then be over with. Yeah.
I mean, you said it costs how much, we're spending how much per year now? 55,000, you said.
Yeah, right at $5,000 a month for meter readers. So 60,000 a year.
Is there a specific reason that we're going over 3 years as opposed to just doing the whole city at once?
Just because it's a big disruption and it's a complicated situation, and we don't want to overload staff or them. And also it's we've budgeted that amount per year and it may happen that we can go a little bit faster on that. But I'm not sure. But
I think conservatively, we're saying we're gonna do this over 3 years. Because government projects always take longer than you want them to. And so we feel like 3 years is a realistic time frame to get that turned around. I suppose it could be possible that we could get it in 2, but that's a lot of meters. That's 3,000 meters less what we've been replacing here. We just want to make sure that we can get the contract people to switch them out. All the things, there's a lot of moving parts.
Is the city staff doing the installation?
it'll be a third party installation mostly, but we're going to do some of them. And that's why this contract is kind of a not to exceed number. It's not an exact number because we're going to do as many as we can. And that'll knock that down
So
a little bit.
That third party paid for with the,
Within that number. Yeah,
is this gonna raise water rates?
it should not. It won't.
We have in code that the water rates raised by the CPI every year, and that will not change.
So we already have some of these meters installed and people have been using them.
Mhm.
It's been really good.
Yeah, no complaints. No complaints. We're not employing the AMI portion of that yet. They're just a regular meter at this point. But when those collectors and repeaters and everything get installed, and we start using them that way, they're set up for it. Yeah.
And you were talking about the reserve amount we have already.
Mhm.
Can you talk about that a little bit?
Yes, so I had a counselor reach out to me after they got the packet and ask about, he was wondering if we were going to take a loan for it, and I indicated that we would not be. We've been setting aside money into the water construction fund for the last several years, and we'll be using those funds to phase this project in. So at the year-end balance that I am projecting in that fund is 2.7 million. So there is enough sitting over there to do the project. Boom, but there are other water projects that we also need to do. And so ensuring that there's enough funding for any mainline replacement or anything that needs to happen, a conservative projection is over 3 years.
And this may be a really crazy idea or not, but are these meters hard to install? Is it something that if a savvy homeowner could do with instructions to help or not?
I think we'd shy away from the homeowner install.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, because that's kind of our, yeah. Like
Just,
normally we don't want people in those boxes even turning on a valve or anything, They tend to get broken somehow.
some people are.
Right? Right?
So savvy.
It's a good idea though. We could just have everybody replace their own. I like it. I gotta think about this now. Right. Right.
Just kind of recap. Basically, I'm funding to support a lot of this,
Yes.
so we don't have to borrow a lot to do a lot.
We're not borrowing anything.
No, that's correct.
That's why we have reserve funds. Good. Like it. Any other discussion? Let's vote.
Counselor Hamilton,
Aye.
Council President Whitaker,
Aye.
Counselor Woods,
Aye.
Counselor Daigle,
Alright,
Counselor Sarnoski, Mayor Summer.
Aye.
Motion carries.
On to reports. Golf carts on roadway, police chief.
Council, Brett Mills, Chief of Police. So one of our residents brought up the idea of wanting to drive golf carts in town. I'm just gonna read this real quick. It's kind of my research all in one to go faster unless I sit here and try to talk. So a city ordinance can allow the use of golf carts on city streets. However, Oregon law significantly restricts our authority. Golf carts specifically may only be authorized on roads adjacent to a golf course in a residential golf community. So, question number one, could we make it legal for golf carts to drive from the SKP park to the gas station? That was the specific question. The answer is no. Question number two, could we make it legal for golf carts to drive on city-owned roads adjacent to golf courses? The answer is yes. The reason for the two distinctions is important because golf carts are not regulated as ATVs, low-speed vehicles, or the standard motor vehicle code. The result is they are not subject to the same equipment requirement, safety standards, or operating rules that apply to those vehicle classes. Specifically, ORS 810-070 addresses golf carts and limits to where they may be operated. While the city could adopt an ordinance regulating the use of slow speed vehicles or UTVs on certain roadways, golf carts are governed separately by Oregon state law and cannot be regulated beyond the authority granted in ORS 810-070. Is there any questions?
Actually, I have a question.
Okay.
So it says golf carts, but it said utility vehicles could be allowed. So theoretically, side by sides could run through town.
Theoretically, yep.
So if they have everything, including lights and license and.
On a golf cart? You talking about golf cart?
They have to be registered to be.
No, the law is very specific on golf carts.
Okay.
Have the few gentlemen that asked us questions been given this information?
They just did.
Oh. I didn't know.
I don't know who that was, but
Okay,
he was here asking the questions. I'm sure he's gonna listen to the recording afterwards if he's not here or online.
okay. That's what I wondered, if they were sent in or else.
Yeah.
This way, okay, that's all. Thank you.
Any other questions?
He's a comedian.
All right, thank you.
On to cannabis facility information.
Mayor, Council, Jamie Fugate, City Planner. So what we provided, I know it was last minute because we were just going to come to you with a report. So we provided you with some additional information for you guys to review, look at, ask questions. Knowing we've kind of revisited this is a revision of a few years ago. But in this, as you've noted, we are limited by House Bill 4121 to only allowing, if this goes forward, one possible marijuana facility inside the city limits due to that House bill. Also, with the time, place, and manner restrictions that you do put in place, that would also restrict the location. There are state statutes that do restrict, 1,000 feet from a school, which also includes a parochial school, your preschools. So at this time, it's kind of hard to know where all those licensed schools are at. But again, as far as the revenue, I know a gentleman spoke about that. We did have our finance director and city recorder reach out to some of the other agencies and just kind of get their feedback. And that's kind of where they came up with that approximate 33,000 per one dispensary.
Does that include any of home daycares as well?
Chad, with the restriction for a home daycare, I think if it's licensed through the state, but I want to make sure that
if they're a licensed home daycare facility, was that also includes that as well? Yes.
Okay. So under the state has certain restrictions, but then the city can impose additional restrictions. So if the city wanted to do a time, place, and manner restriction related to the home daycare centers, it could. I don't think that the state law applies to the home daycare facilities.
Those are in residential zones anyway, and there is that restriction from the residential zones as well, so I think that might also be included.
But that's going into those time, place, and manner regulations that you guys would tell us to put into that code. Would be, if you want to be 500 feet from residential, if you want to be 200 feet, what that standard is. But at this time previously, we'd only allowed it or put it forward to be in commercial zone. So with it right now, looking at our zoning and the way our city is laid out, there's only possibly 2 locations.
Where are those locations?
The one is the vacant lot next to the Tesla, between Tesla and Starbucks, and the other one would be down at exit 135. If you went
So,
for
like,
just commercial
Would,
zones.
would like the old Apple Peddler,
No.
would not be available?
No, because of the distance from residential zone.
It's across the street.
So they'd have to build a building, basically.
They would have, somebody would have to acquire the property and then construct a new building, because we do not have, I mean, right now at exit 135, a lot of the commercial is taken up by businesses right now. So, I mean, it'd be acquiring that property and then constructing a building.
And, do you have any information on what the city taxes are in like surrounding cities that have it?
And Bo actually did research that.
So Myrtle Creek, they sent theirs this morning. It was anywhere from 17.5 per quarter to like 19 per quarter that they would get back 1,000. And then I think you reached out to Winston, which
3%, right? That's what.
well, everyone's.
That's all they're getting.
You do remember the amount of.
They were getting, I want to say Winston, they were receiving, and this was preliminary, pretty, because they just got their dispensary in March, right? No, we decided, I think they were thinking they were gonna get about $40,000. $4,000 a month, sorry.
You said about 4,000 a month?
Yeah.
Well, no, it says you could place a city tax on top of the state tax.
Which is, so I believe it's 3%. And
3%.
Chad can probably get.
It's a maximum
and
of
that-
3%, right?
Yeah, and so that has to be put on the ballot as well. If you're doing that, because that has to be.
Well, I wondered what, like Roseburg, do they have a city tax?
The maximum that they can do is 3%.
What do they do?
I believe so.
They have it as 3%.
I believe so. Yeah.
One thing that I was told is that they can only accept cash and they can't utilize the bank. As far as having being a member.
I believe that is correct.
Because it's still a federal crime.
Yeah.
That's in the process of.
I do believe that there are some institutions that are able to do it, but I don't know if they're federally regulated banks that are allowed to.
Is that correct, Chad? That's still how it is?
You know, Mayor, I'd have to go back and look. That's the way it was historically. But I do know that the current administration did change some aspects of how the federal government was regulating marijuana. And I believe this may be one of those things that they were looking into. So I haven't honestly kept up to date on that, but if that's a critical issue for you all, we can certainly dig into that and get more information for you.
I have a question. So for those who need this for medical purposes and they're prescribed a prescription for it, is it something that can be billed through a pharmacy, an actual pharmacy? If not, it has to go through. Right, yeah. The dispensary.
Correct.
Okay, so what we're discussing is whether we're wanting to put this on the ballot.
Right.
Isn't that correct?
Yes.
Yeah, we were just providing you information, kind of what needs to happen. So I mean, like right now, obviously it's not permitted within the city limits. So we would have to go through those development code procedures to amend it. If you guys wanted to move forward with it going on the ballot, we would concurrently be working on our end to get those time, place and manner regulations in effect. So when if it passes, we're ready, for it. And then we would redact it if it's not passed.
Well, it seems like to me it makes a lot more sense to let the city make that decision than it would for us to make that decision. We tried that once, we didn't work too good.
I think, yes, I agree with you. The citizens are the ones who need to make that decision.
I agree.
Yeah, and Bode reached out. I mean, we have some timelines. moving forward, and then, the costs for the elections office, which is, fairly minimal, I think.
Well, if the citizens are gonna do this, then that's okay, we can't just spend this money without knowing there's enough people to support it to do that. So they'd have to have a petition, correct?
Not if we just put it on the ballot, they don't have to do the petition.
What if people don't want it what if people are wanting it on the ballot for it? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
But, well, they have the choice of saying no. Yes
They
or
know
no.
they're voting for it.
Then that way we know what they want.
Right.
But I think his question is that he's saying that, do we wanna spend the money to say, hey, put it on the ballot, cause we're the ones who are saying, hey, let's put it on the ballot. So we're gonna spend the money to put it on the ballot, without knowing if the citizens actually want to put it on the ballot or not.
We don't know how many people in the city would wanna put it on the ballot.
I think that's
And
the
we have to
question.
spend quite a bit of money to do it, so
$2,000.
2,000.
Sounds like $9,000.
We had-
Yeah, previous-
we had 13 for the last one, so-
Right.
Yeah, why is it?
I don't know.
So when the county had given us that information previously, it was based on them not knowing what else was gonna be on the ballot, but for this election, we asked them again what that would be to give you guys that information, and that's what they estimated that at. Because we wouldn't be taking, like, it's not just the city of Sutherland's election, those ballots are already going out basically, and so that's why that cost is less than what they anticipated it would be previously, if that makes sense.
Well, just the same, I think collectively they should get a petition up to have us do this.
When was the last time we voted on this? I think I was on the council, that had been at least 10
I don't know very good.
Probably at least 10 years.
I think it was.
Yeah, I think it was
2016.
Yeah, but we brought information back. I know the last time was May of 2019. We brought information back to council.
But the last vote.
The last vote was 2016.
So today, there's no decision. We just wanted to give the additional information because of the timeline in order to get it on the ballot. So we wanted to give you that additional information for you guys to process. And then when it comes to that decision, it'll be as an agenda item.
So
Yes.
if you're wanting us to give feedback in terms of like place and location, on, I know you said there was those 2 locations, but also to include like, I'm just more concerned about like our youth, like, having that accessibility. Because I think that it's important that we really consider that, so.
So today ultimately is just you guys letting us know, do you want this on an agenda item? Because we would have to come back as an agenda item where you would then be able to pass a resolution to move forward with it going on the ballot. But as far as your time, place, and manners, we would work on that as well, as the state does have requirements for those.
So can that include the home daycares? I think that's important because there are a lot of home daycares providers that provide care for children.
It's already,
Like,
it's
It already
already
includes-
residential, so they're.
If they're not all of them are in residential areas necessarily.
So like
There are other-
a distance away from licensed daycare, so it'd have to be someone that's licensed through the state, is that what you're?
Yes, yeah, there are, because I have a facility
Mhm.
and it's in a commercial zone. That has childcare.
Yeah, so we would be able to discuss and work through those time, place, and manner rules.
Residential, so there's so.
I may be, but there are others that may not be. I will make sure that others just the same.
Jamie,
Yes.
you said there are 2 places right now that they could legally be.
Not legally be, but that are
I
a
mean-
possibility if it was to go through, yes, because of the requirements from schools and depending on what you put for residential zone, the buffer from a residential zone.
So to change what you have to change, first of all, you have to define what the business is, correct?
Well, it would go per the property zoning. So the property is already zoned, and so we have buffers from that. Depending on your distance, if you wanted to go 500 feet from residential, or you wanted to stay at 1,000.
So what I'm kind of curious about is how many other places then you adapt to make that work.
The only other way to get, well, two things, depending on the zoning. So before we always just only wanted it in the commercial, the C3 zone. If you moving forward, you wanted to make it a conditionally permitted use in the industrial zone, it would open up possibly another piece of property. But at the same time, we're restricted by House Bill 4121 to only one in Sutherland due to the population. So
But as the population grows, that.
so that house, depending on the House bill, because the House bill it was an enacted House bill, so it's 7,500 people over the age of 21. So we'd have to, yeah.
Get that, or, it's like double our population.
But as far as time, place and manner, you guys get to say. The only thing, correct me if I'm wrong, the only restriction is the state says that the farthest it can be is 1,000 feet. You guys can say 250 feet. You guys have to say over time, place and manner.
Correct.
So right now, people could go to Roseburg and buy it, correct?
Correct, yeah.
Right, so.
It's just, we have that moratorium, the prohibition against having a facility here in
So
Sutherland.
That's the closest place to Sutherland is Roseburg, of course.
I believe, I'm not sure if we're,
I'm not either.
I don't,
That's the
yeah, if
closest-
Rice Hill
I think-
or Yonkall, I don't know if,
15 miles.
sure. 10 miles, 15, just depends, yeah,
12.5.
sure, right there.
Okay.
Yeah, so what, we're not
Put it
at,
on the ballot, or on our agenda. for
on the-
next
okay.
meeting.
So, Mayor, if I could just add one more thing. So in addition to placing it on the agenda, do you want us to also look at placing a 3% tax for Sutherland on the ballot as well? Because if you don't do it this fall, you'd have to wait until the next general election, which would be in 2028 to do so.
Are you guys wanting,
I think so.
No.
that's the max.
Dang.
We want 3%, 2%, 1%.
2.85.
2.5%,
That doesn't sound unreasonable.
3%, okay. Everybody agree with that?
What would it be, two measures? Would it be two measures on the ballot then? So 2,000 times two.
If we do 2%, we're less percent than
Oh.
Roseburg.
It could be.
People might come here to buy it
Just so
if
they're aware.
it passes.
I don't think 1% is a big difference.
No.
I don't know either. No, okay. Yeah, why don't we add the tax? to-
Well, I only see the benefit of it as a tax. But I mean, right
That's
now,
true,
anybody
right.
going to Roseburg is giving Sutherland money to Roseburg.
That's right.
To me,
And if they're gonna stay here, we might as well get the tax credit.
so.
But we're guessing that's gonna be, what, $33,000?
Still 33,000 we did done before.
But what would we be spending on the other things that are possibly gonna be coming out of it from those who are gonna be going into the facility that wouldn't have as easy access to it?
What?
From the problems that may cause by having the facility so local. I don't think I think it's not a good idea to have one in the facility, in the area.
I just see this tax revenue, which is what everybody's been harping on us for.
I don't
To
think-
find as much money as we can.
Well, it's gonna be more than what was posted evidently.
I don't know what.
But
What
each
constitution
major
to do
will
that's
take
what we have
2,000.
never, I never see any issues going on.
Yeah, it's what-
I just know that it's here, whether you like it or not. I mean, it's legal.
There's still.
Yeah, they're gonna go get it. We're just giving money away. Let them go to Roseburg to get it.
I don't have a problem with looking at on the ballot. I just hope that we've got like 4 people basically tell us that you put it on the ballot.
No, I've seen it on
I've seen
Facebook.
lots of on Facebook.
Well, that's all it's come forward and told us.
Did you get that response from that you put it out there about it? Did you get much response on that?
Yeah, it was 50-50 on the responses. Maybe a little bit more.
Each measure that we put on there though is 2,000, so. That would be 4,000.
Well, especially one being 50-50 like that. I think it's probably better to let the city decide. Not.
Yeah.
This is one of those issues that, even amongst us, it's
Yeah.
contentious. This is something the city needs to decide.
That's right. I agree with that.
Well, it's just like last time when we did it.
Yeah.
I mean, we put it out there and the city was very clear, they did not want it, so.
That's 10 years ago, and
Yeah, and it wasn't legal, now it is, so. Who knows?
Okay, you got both of them?
Yep.
Okay. On to city manager.
Go does.
First of all, I'd like to say I like when you guys got questions. I wanna commend Aaron and Tammy for their report and for having Pat come on their AMI water meter report. I love that you guys ask those questions. It just makes sense when you're spending that much money to ask intelligent questions. I also commend Bo and Jamie and Christy for the report on the cannabis dispensary information. That was last minute and they worked on it pretty hard to get that thing going. If you have any questions about City Hall renewal or City Hall remodel, please come over and look at it. There was somebody over there, I could hear him over there pounding and sawing today. It's in progress. It's going slower than normal. Well, I guess government work is slow anyway, but
Seems to be.
want to let everybody know that Aaron is going to be putting up Aaron's crew, I think today, right? You guys are putting up a new flag before the 4th of July.
Yep.
On the big giant flag. It would be cool if somebody get a picture of that when they're putting it up. And we could put it on Facebook. It'd be awesome.
Photo op.
Photo op. And then Bo, so little kudos to Bo here, who has updated our website again to put projects on the website. So I don't know if you guys noticed that or not, but projects that are happening, the city's working on. You can get on that project on the website. You can see what's going on with that project. It should be updated monthly. A lot of times, how it goes is, we're expecting big updates and it still says, still nothing going on, but at least it's on there and we know, and you guys know that it is being updated once a month. And then Bo is working on another social media post. And Bo actually worked last week at pulling weeds, spraying weeds. I'm trying to let people know that it's okay to make your sidewalk in front of your business or in front of your home, or your ditch in front of your business or in front of your home look nice. You can actually cut those weeds, spray those weeds, take them all the way to the street. Because there's just some stuff that, people can kind of clean up on their own. So anyway, Bo's gonna be putting out a social media post on that, just showing, hey, look how cool this can be if you would just clean some stuff up. That's all I got. Thank you.
Okay. Council comments. Remember, monthly meeting time is limited. Please ask questions or make statements that are likely to benefit the group. Individual comments and questions that can be handled on a one-on-one basis should be handled outside the meeting. Councilor Hamilton.
Luckily, Music Off Central was Thursday and it was nice. It's good to see all the people out. And fortunately, the working waited, I think, until most of us were gone anyway. So, yeah, that's all I have.
Council President Whitaker.
Every time I drive through downtown, I'm always happy that we have the baskets hanging up there. It makes it look really nice.
Nice. They look great too.
Yeah, and they continue to get bigger and bigger. I don't know how come ours don't. Really do really good.
Yeah.
But then I look off to the sides and I see the buildings that some people neglect. And I hope we're working hard to bring that to a conclusion. There was one other thing I was thinking about too, but I'm old, so sometimes.
Councilor Woods.
Also, Music Off Central, it was great. A lot of people came out and we really enjoyed that, so it's nice to see summer approaching and seeing people out, towards pond. People out actually enjoying the things that we have to offer here, which is really nice. To see more people walking and biking and riding and just doing all the fun things, the kids out playing. So nice to see that. That's all I have for now until I remember something else.
Can't go back, sorry.
Oh,
Counselor Daigle.
I don't wanna say nothing.
A double negative.
So that means something. I did double.
Okay.
Counselor Karnowski. Yes, Music Off Central was great. Had a good turnout for our first one. Looking forward to the rest. Maybe not some of the country, but most of them.
I was disappointed that I never heard them sing words. I thought that was strange.
Huh?
It was all music, there was no words.
There was a little few words.
They sang all the time.
Yeah.
They weren't some of them.
The different concerts.
Nice. Yeah. I just wanted to say that we are skipping coffee with the mayor this weekend. And happy 4th of July, because it's actually on 4th of July. And happy 250th birthday
Wow.
to our country.
Yeah.
And I think that's about it. I'm looking forward to the throwdown, my favorite event of the summer. So that's coming up in July. And I think that's about it. So we'll end it with the purpose of public comment is to allow citizens to present information regarding items off the agenda. Time limit of 3 minutes per citizen shall apply. I don't have any sheets here, but did anyone forget to send me one? Okay, well, at that time, we'll go ahead. Yeah.